Last time on All Night.
None of this makes sense. None of it has ever made any sense. There's no continuity. There's no consistency in costuming. There's no anything. No. Is this from a video? Is this actually from a video? No one can know because none of it makes sense. Skibbity, Ohio, and Riz all make perfect sense on their own, but it's when these goddamn Zoomers put them all in a sentence that it all falls to shit! Who's the man in the hat, huh? Who's the man in the goddamn hat? You're telling me that life is a highway? Life is more like a goddamn parking garage. Raid Shadow Legends! Oh, thank God. Oh, that was just a nightmare. Oh, it's okay. It's fine. Wait. Shit, what day is it? No! Shit! My one chance. Gone. Just like that. Reduced to atoms. Eh? Wait a second.
Next time, baby.
Son of a Bruce Banner, man. Marvel Rivals felt more exclusive than Fortnite Battle Passes prior to Chapter 5, Season 4. I feel like I was never gonna get to play this damn game. But then I did. I managed to get in on the most recent closed beta test and had an absolute blast. And of course, like all good things, it had to come to an end.
Only one thing left to do. To pass the time.
In the pantheon of free-to-play, the hero shooter is the genre with the most controversy. I will put 100% of the blame on Overwatch 2. One, because it's funny to dog on Blizzard, but as a whole, the debacle was honestly a lose-lose situation. Turning a $60 game with loot boxes into a free-to-play game with skins more expensive than most indie games nowadays, the stigma of free-to-play has become infamous in the modern gaming scene. But I'd rather not spend nearly 30 minutes of your time dogging on one game. I'd rather lift up the new kid on the block to explain what it is that they're doing right with this game. This game seeks to challenge and even rival the greats of the hero shooter genre. Marvel Rivals is on its way. A free-to-play hero shooter based off of the catalog of Marvel heroes from the pantheon of Marvel Comics. What sounds simple on the surface actually has an insane amount of layers underneath that makes this game far more than meets the eye. And trust me, even without the game being out yet, I can smell some gourmet shit from a mile away. I mean, just look at me. Let's not waste any more time, but before we get underway, please do consider liking and subscribing if this is the kind of content you're interested in. I'm making it a goal for this channel to try and hit 5K subscribers by the end of 2024, so if you can help me get there, I'd be forever in your debt. Thank you so much. My name is All Night, and join me in exploring why Marvel Rivals will be the peak of hero shooters. Not sponsored.
Whoa. Hi, Eddie.
Whoa.
Sorry, no, not my type.
You can play as Venom.
I love you. I love you in every universe.
What? What are you looking at me for?
Look, the greatest character in all of fiction deserved his own bullet point. I don't know what else you want from me.
It's Vernon.
Marvel Rivals has the unique opportunity that not many other games have. The problem with the superhero genre is that there is a metric buttload of characters to choose from when making video games. And I can guarantee you that there is at least one person out there that wants a dedicated video game of their favorite Marvel superhero. Yes, there is at least one person out there that wants a Morbius single-player game, and that person is me. Even characters like Scarlet Witch and Magic have the same kind of devoted fan bases as heroes like the Hulk, Spider-Man, or Iron Man. And the issue with modern gaming is that games just take too damn long to make nowadays, so we have to pick and choose what popular heroes that we adapt into a video game format. Unfortunately, since the movie to video game adaptation is officially dead, it's going to be very difficult for Marvel fans to have video games to play as their favorite or niche characters. The closest thing we will have are games like Lego Marvel, Marvel vs. Capcom, and Marvel Ultimate Alliance. While I've played my fair share of the Lego games and MVC, I actually haven't dabbled too deep into Ultimate Alliance. In fact, I literally just started my first playthrough of the third game. Comment down below and let me know if you'd like to hear me cover that game someday. What we have here is a unique opportunity for the developer NetEase to pick any name from the Marvel library, and I do mean any name, and make an interesting and fun character out of them, even if they're not part of the big leagues or the MCU. And in truth, we're already seeing this in the game's base roster with names like Magic, Namor, and Luna Snow. NetEase are rivaling Sakurai himself when it comes to those hashtag deep cuts. But even the most popular characters in the Marvel multiverse have the unfortunate issue of just not having many playable appearances as is, if any at all, in Marvel games. Venom got one mission in Spider-Man 2, a playable appearance in Marvel Ultimate Alliance, as well as DLC and MVCI. We of course want a standalone Venom game. Do it, you coward! But the fact that we have Venom, Magneto, Scarlet Witch, and Doctor Strange as playable characters, even though it's a multiplayer game, this will allow all fans of these characters to enjoy even just an ounce of the power fantasy that they've always wanted to see in these characters in a video game form. You know your game is cooked when an Overwatch clone and Fortnite do better web slinging than you.
This will be the first of many jabs at Marvel's Avengers, so make sure to take a drink of water every single time that counter ticks up. Buckle up, true believers, it's gonna be a bumpy ride!
Tell you what, throw a little Hot Rod Red in there.
Yes, that should help you keep a low profile.
Marvel Rivals is one pretty ass game. I mean this with my whole chest. I adore the art style of Marvel Rivals. If, like, every game could look as striking and comic booky as this game, I think I'd run out of pants. In all seriousness, this is yet another thing that Marvel's Avengers suffered from, and that was the lack of art style. I'm tired of my games looking hyper-realistic and Hollywood-esque. I want proportions that don't make sense.
I want my men built like brick houses. I want my raccoons sharp as that shit!
It's like the difference between Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. The art style that emphasizes thick lines and deep and rich colors is 1,000 times more timeless and appealing than Play-Doh, which is again why Marvel Rivals excels in almost every regard. Even on my ancient PC, who's just trying his very best, the game uses Unreal Engine 5 pretty damn effectively, and my computer can still run it pretty well, making the environments look super detailed while having destructible props. Battlefield, eat your heart out.
I'll figure this out.
All while having all the characters stick out and pop off the screen with their sharp angles and bright colors. The game looks like a comic book in motion, even in the menus of all things. And I do mean this in its most literal sense. The game almost looks hand-drawn, and honestly, if there ever comes a time and I find out that this game had any AI generation in its art style, I might just end it all. That leads me into not just the art style, but the individual designs for each hero are just my favorite thing about comic book heroes is the same reason why I love the design philosophies of most MOBAs. I get rock hard for some strong silhouettes in my character designs. If I just showed you their outline, you'd get a damn good idea of who they are without you even getting to see them. Tony's rocking a wonderful hybrid of the nanotech suits and his mechanical offerings. Rocket is decked to the nines in ammunition, and his fur has jagged edges left and right. Jeff is Jeff, and we love him for it. And Scarlet Witch is Overwatch, you got some competition in a very specific department, and I do mean specific.
in a dooming department.
This is one of my favorite things when it comes to the hero shooter MOBA genre, and Marvel Rivals knocks it out of the park with all of these designs. It makes you wonder just how they're gonna adapt other Marvel designs, thinking like Captain America, Moon Knight, maybe Blade. The possibilities are endless, and I am here for them.
This is something else.
Now, the actual meat and potatoes of the game is, of course, the gameplay, and this is something I was worried about the most when it came to Marvel Rivals. You see, most competitors to Overwatch get into this slump of mimicking existing design philosophies of the most popular games to make transitioning to their games so much easier. Like, ooh, look at us! We have the skirmishing lady who's really hot, and the healer that can fly and is really hot, and the big guy in a suit of armor who is really hot. But Marvel Rivals doesn't really have that problem. You could say Spider-Man's kit's most like Genji's, but that's more so just calling Spider-Man an assassin more than anything, and that's exactly what he is. It's kind of like just saying wheat bread is like white bread. Like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, they're both bread. Rather, Marvel Rivals takes individual characters and of course puts them in either tank, damage, or support, but then does everything it possibly can to turn the dial up to 11 on expressing that character's power identity. Spider-Man can web swing, Thor can shoot lightning and throw his hammer and call it back. And Scarlet Witch is for wee babies who can't aim. Baby girl, I love you. I could fix you. You are broken as shit, but it's hot. Hell, they even gave Hulk his charge jump from the Ultimate Destruction game. Peak game recognizes peak game. You love to see it. No matter your favorite hero or preferred playstyle, there is someone in this roster for you, and they play how you expect them to. Hell, the roster is still growing as of the recording of this video. We're still to expect almost double the amount of characters at launch. What will make or break this game will be how you earn those characters, but that's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother day. When we're boiling Marvel Rivals down to face value and the tools that it brings to the table when it comes to gameplay, its star-studded cast of AAA heroes and not so well-known favorites will never fail to excite and surprise me with some insanely fun kits. Even heroes who I've never 100% vibed with personally clicked with me from a gameplay perspective in this game. I like Black Panther, he's just never been one of my all-time favorites. But I actually preferred his playstyle over Spider-Man's in this game, because getting dash resets makes the happy chemicals break out into a musical number. I would say my biggest call out for the NetEase team is to find a way to make even more supports for the roster, and specifically, make more supports that people want to play. It is the trap that every single game gets trapped in, where supports are not fun to play, so no one picks them. Mantis and Luna Snow are cool and all, I love both of them. I mean, for real, Luna is baby girl, but that's besides the point. But most MOBAs and hero shooters struggle to make healers badass. It sucks having supports feel relegated to a specific stereotype of feeling small, weak, and frail. To fuck with that, give me Sentry as a healer. Give me Anti-Venom as a healer. Son of a bitch, Anti-Venom would actually be a Galaxy Brain move, but but who would the host be? Dylan? Matt Gargan? Wait a minute, hold on, Flash Thompson, duh! Give us Agent Anti-Venom, you coward! And even as a seasoned tank main in most other shooters, I can also appreciate their approach to the big boys in this game, also known as Vanguards. You've got your big HP meat shields, you've got your generous shield donors, and you have your standard Reinhardt shielders. Oh, in multiple flavors too. Gotta give them props for that. But what I like the most about Vanguards in this game is that their job isn't necessarily to be a bullet sponge for your enemies to pour their hopes and dreams into. They're meant to control the battlefield with different types of CC and AoE abilities, mostly to bully the opposition into wanting you to focus them. Venom, my baby boy, is the star of the show here. I never once thought in my life that Venom's playstyle would boil down to angry tentacle wrecking ball, but here we are. Also, anytime someone acknowledges Blue Venom, you guessed it, rock hard! This roster is a healthy size and absolutely nutty that we're gonna continue to get more characters even leading up to launch. I would say one thing with full confidence is that I want these developers to be extra careful about how many characters they add. I don't want to exhaust the lessons learned from games like League of Legends, where the more characters you add, you start to end up overshadowing your original cast after a while. Though, who knows? We'll see how this pans out, given that we have such a massive catalog of unique heroes and movesets to choose from.
But if there's anything we know about power creep, it's that it comes for us all eventually. Even you.
You're no longer safe.
Is that everyone?
Like you wanted more?
Any game with such an ensemble list of recognizable characters will of course have requested characters that are high in demand. While I know there's a list of data mined characters out there somewhere, we're gonna ignore that for the sake of this video and my wish list, because we have fun here, god damn it! So with that in mind, let me share with you my top 5 picks for characters that I'd love to see added to Marvel Rivals. Carnage! Carnage, carnage, carnage. If there's one thing you know about me as a person, you will know that I am completely and utterly obsessed with all things symbiote. Life Foundation, Anti-Venom, Poison, the Goo Boys and Girls of Marvel are some of my favorite characters in all of fiction. And I think that Venom's baby boy, Carnage, deserves a slot on this ever-expanding roster to give us just a slight bit more variety when it comes to the Clintars. Specifically, I think Carnage would make a great DPS assassin. Make him a high-risk, high-reward DPS with a below-average health pool, but a metric ton of lifesteal abilities. Essentially, he would always need to be in the thick of it and relishing in, you guessed it, the carnage to stay alive. Definitely put in some good old-fashioned tendril weapons like the axes and swords like classic Carnage. And hey, while you're at it, make Ultimate Carnage a skin for him. Literally the easiest skin you could ever make. Just make his eyes piss yellow. Cinema.
This is free money, NetEase, cause it's my money. I would buy that shit in a heartbeat.
If you caught my last video talking about a big theory I have how this game relates to the MCU, link in the description, you should totally check it out by the way, you'll know that the plot of this game revolves around 2 Doctor Dooms, one from the present and one from the future, who are waging war against one another. They quite literally have already designed a Doctor Doom as well as a Doctor Doom skin. We're already getting more Doctor Doom love in Fortnite, and I think Marvel is now all in on making him a staple villain for the next couple years, so it would behoove NetEase to make the Big Daddy Baddie playable in this game as soon as humanly possible. I think he would maybe fit the Vanguard role the best, but I want to throw a curveball into this discussion. What if they made Victor Von Doom a support? He's most iconic for mixing technology with magic, so as a magic user, he is inclined to use spells to maybe heal his allies or buff them in some way. I'm thinking maybe some AoE CC abilities like a massive slow you can put down on the floor, with a mix of maybe Loki clones, Doombots, with Luna Snow's piercing healing beams so that he and his Legion of Doom can ensure that his team is juiced up and always ready to stay in the fight. Oh, and a foot dive, of course, because I will never disassociate this idiot with his signature move ever again, and neither should you.
Did not hear foot dive once in the entire script. 0 stars.
Alright, so right here I've got a little American badger. Hello. So cute, so let's pick him right up.
With the success of Deadpool and Wolverine, I think that slotting in these 2 bozos into the game should be a no-brainer. The trick for me was trying to pick just one for this list. One thing I applaud Marvel Rivals for is that despite it being a hero shooter in genre, not too many of the characters actually shoot per se. It's a damn large amount of melee characters in this roster already, and we're not even at full capacity yet. So I think that Marvel Rivals should embrace this ideology and keep up with the melee-oriented characters. Thus, I think Wolverine would be a more fun character to pop onto the roster first go-around, and then maybe include Deadpool later on. Wolverine would be, of course, a DPS hero. what with being the living embodiment of the Berserker role. He would be the only hero with regenerating HP on the roster, but would also have a passive that would lessen the effects of heals from his teammates. Why, you may ask? Because Wolverine would be the one hero in the game who can't die, at least not traditionally. You can certainly get an elimination on him and knock him out, but he'll always get back up. Within the standard respawn timer, he would eventually get back up in an area nearby his original spot where he was knocked down, essentially allowing him to always be a sticky presence in a fight, with no guarantee that his teammates could keep him alive for too long, even if he could flank the enemy team and approach from behind. Would this be balanced? I don't know. Should I ever be involved in true game design? Absolutely not. But I think that you should allow for Wolverine's undying nature to be exemplified in a hero shooter moveset. Maybe with him only being melee, that could help balance things out. I'm unsure. Maybe put a cooldown on the resurrection ability so he can't keep doing it constantly. That may be one true way to balance a passive of this magnitude. Oh, and put Berserker Barrage in there because I refuse to let Marvel vs. Capcom die, and neither should you.
Fetch me their soul!
Any man willing to sell his soul for love has the power to fight giant spiders.
My main man, Ghost Rider, is one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time. And it is an honest-to-God war crime that he's been shunned from modern Marvel media. Say that 5 times fast, goddamn. But Ghost Rider fits into the camp of supernatural heroes and villains whose moveset honestly kinda writes itself. I think it actually makes more sense for Ghost Rider to be a vanguard like Roadhog, where his main mechanic would revolve around using his flaming chains to pull enemies in for his teammates to dogpile and destroy. Maybe even a penance stare ultimate that would lock down one enemy, deal massive damage to them before turning them into a ticking time bomb that then explodes and damages other enemies around them. I think a lot of Ghost Rider media tends to forget that he has a motorcycle, and it is Ghost Rider, not just Ghost.
Boom! Boom! I'm out of me, bloody enemies! Boom!
So I think you could include a mobility ability in his kit that allows him to ride his bike through enemies and up walls, all the while leaving behind flaming trails of hell behind him. Maybe help him tank up a little bit better. He could have a mechanic where he heals based off of the damage done from the flames that he leaves behind, and also any other fire that he uses to burn enemies. And maybe give the motorcycle a health boost as well as he's riding it to, further emphasize just how much of a bastard he can be while turning and burning and help exemplify that Vanguard playstyle. I earnestly believe that Ghost Rider is a hero with limitless potential that deserves to be explored, even if it's just for another crossover or two.
Ultraman.
Sheen, this is the 7th week in a row you've shown
Ultraman.
art in class.
Did someone say crossover? Of course we gotta have a crossover. No IP has any meaning anymore unless it's in a crossover, in Fortnite, in Avengers, the multiverse. We all just gotta bash our action figures together until we find meaning in life, right?
Nah. But if we're being real here, you knew I couldn't go 3 videos without bringing Tokusatsu back into the conversation. And I think I may be cooking with this one. Just hear me out for a minute. Marvel Rivals is already full of amazing ideas and experimental kits. We have portals, we have swinging, we have wall crawling, we have destructible environments. Why not get a little spicy with other types of characters that we can include? Tsuburaya Productions, the makers of the Ultraman IP, are already super chill with the Jolly Silver Giant hanging out with Marvel superheroes. So this feels like a natural inclusion to bring in not just any superhero, but one of the most iconic international superheroes of all time. Sure, we could have shot for a Kamen Rider or a Sentai, but I wanted to have some extra fun, especially given the recent crossover. I think Ultraman should of course be another Vanguard, but maybe give him a form-changing gimmick a la maybe the Hulk. You would start out as a base human and have to transform into Ultraman at the start of the match using your ultimate. And the same gimmick like the Hulk kind of parallel with Diva, where if you take enough damage you would revert back. But not just that, just like in the show, he would only have access access to this form for 3 minutes at a time. Then he would have to revert back to his human form and seek cover before inevitably henching once more and getting back into the fight. I think that Ultraman size is the elephant in the room here for sure, and I think you can honestly take liberty with this and shrink him down just a wee bit. Maybe like, I don't know, 2 Hulks in height? So that way he can still be reasonably interacted with, but not to an unreasonable degree. He of course needs his energy attacks, his shield, maybe some grappling moves for space control given that the big guy is known for being a silver-plated wrestler when he's fighting his enemies. And his ultimate should, of course, be the Kamehameha Spacium Beam, since that's one of his favorite finishing moves in his franchise. While, yeah, I think we should get our base roster right and get the mainstays up in there. I mean, hell, we're still missing some key Avengers right now, but I think if the devs want to wow us with a big character down the line, the champion from the planet of the light is always welcome to come and save us all. So those were my thoughts on Marvel Rivals and why I honestly think it has the ability to shake up the multiplayer scene and be a true competitor to the likes of Overwatch and TF2. If I said it once, I can never say it enough. The reality here is that the one key place that this game will need to succeed in the modern gaming atmosphere will have to be its monetization. If we ever find out what that's going to look like before release, maybe my opinions will change. But purely from the direction we're going, NetEase seems to be making basically all the right plays when it comes to who they include, how the game looks, and how these dynamic heroes should play and feel unique against one another. Only time will tell just how well this will stack up against the fold, but in the meantime, I want to thank you so much for giving me your time and clicking on this video. If you enjoy gaming and movie content, please do consider subscribing, as I got so many cool ideas before the year is up. I don't want you to miss out on any of them. You thought 2023 was a hell of a year for gaming? Well, till you see 2024, because god damn! Also, don't forget to like the video and show the algorithm some of that love if you enjoyed your time here today. And as always, I've been your host all night, and do not forget to stay loved, keep loving, and have a wonderful night.